Hi, fashion dolls. Welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. It is Motivation Monday, July 5th. Today, joining us is a beautiful, handsome Los Angeles native. He is an upcoming singer and songwriter, and he is here to be joining us today to discuss his music career and so much more. Joining me today, we have a singer by the name of Emannuel _IF, and he is going to be joining me here. 3 p.m. is going to be the episode of Girl Let's Talk with Live Love Fashion by DC and my girl Drea X. We're going to be talking about so much, and at 4 p.m. you guys are going to be getting the main show where we dish the topics. So, as you guys know, today's show is sponsored by Exclusive Beauty. Make sure you guys go and shop Exclusive Beauty Hair Store right here on Instagram. Go and be sure to check out our newest makeup collection, Lush Mahogany, for women of color. I need everyone to share this live to let everyone know that we are on. I'm so ready. We're going to have so much fun with our very special guest for today, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from California. He is a Taurus with a Gemini moon rising. I'm a Scorpio, so this is going to blend out perfectly. So we're waiting on our very special guest to get here. But I need you guys to go and check out Exclusive Beauty Hair Store right here on Instagram. Or you can go to the store in the actual state of South Carolina. We're located down here in South Carolina. Make sure you guys go and check it out. We've got everything from your hair care needs to your beauty needs. Makeup brushes, beauty blenders, eyelashes, eyeliner, foundations, and so much more. Make sure you guys go and check that out. So we're waiting on our very special guest. I'm going to share this live with him one more time. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and our very special guest is here all the way from the LA area. Let me go on ahead and get this show started. Ladies and gentlemen, Emannuel. Notifications out the way. Check that out. Eat that. Welcome.
Hey, how are you?
I'm
Thank you
doing
for having me.
excellent. Welcome to Style by Stevie Talk Show. It is such a pleasure to finally meet you. Well, we talked briefly behind the scenes, but to
Right,
now
right.
be doing the interview. So, how are you today? Happy Monday, and how was your fourth?
Thank you. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me. It's always an honor and pleasure, especially with um your platform, so I'm definitely honored by it. My fourth was good. Me and the missus, we just kind of had like a lazy day, I should say. It's one of the things you work hard all week, and then, because it fell on a Sunday, it was kind of nice for us to be able to just kind of relax and chill out. So, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay. So, you were born and raised in California. Tell us a little bit about how you grew up and how you got into the music biz.
Okay, so I'm actually from the DMV area. So I was born in Northern Virginia,
Okay.
right outside of DC. My father was military, so they moved around a lot. So that's kind of where I grew up. So my adolescent years was around DMV, DC, Baltimore, Maryland, and then when I went to school, in college, whatever, university, I went to Philly. So I actually claim Philly as my home because I feel that that's kind of where I became who I am, where I became a man and everything of that nature, where I kind of really grew into what you see now. Um, and as far as music goes, I've always been musically inclined, singing, dancing, a couple instruments here and there. And honestly, it started because I found out that you could get more women singing than you could with sports. That's actually how it started. I'm being completely honest, that's actually how it started out. And what happened was I went through a season of like depression, and the only thing outside of my spirituality or my faith that I had to rely on was music. And so I found out that instead of, I've always been a writer. So as I began to write, then, that's where the love and the passion and, all that kind of stuff started to develop, you know. And then now, obviously, I'm out here in California. I've been out here 2.5, 3 years now, just in pursuit of bigger and better things. So definitely.
Okay. Okay. So, who's some of your musical influences?
Oh God. Um, that's a really hard question. It's because I listen to everything. I feel that culture in itself is the biggest influence. I love to travel, and I feel that when you go outside of the United States, so many other countries have so much cultural expression. So like I think that kind of bleeds into it. I would have to say my biggest influences would obviously probably be Michael Jackson, because I think he just embodied so much. He had a message, he had a sound, a very unique skill set, and then he did something with it. And I feel that as every artist, we should always pursue to make the world a better place with our music. So I would have to say Michael Jackson's probably at the top of my list. Um, I grew up, my father, they played Motown a lot. And then I grew up in the church. So there was heavy Kurt Franklin, Yolanda Adams, the Winans, Fred Hammond. I think that the message that they had a lot in their music is kind of what bleeds out. So like a lot of my music, I would say, is conscious music. It's things that I think about, or conversation pieces, or prayers that are turned into songs that I'm just writing down. But I feel like everything is rooted for me, honestly, deeply in my faith and in spirituality, and it just comes out to whatever I'm dealing with at that time.
Okay, okay. So, what is the songwriting process for you like? Because you already know my fave is the John McReynolds
You
cover,
know,
and the other cover as well too. So, what is the songwriting process like for you? And I see everyone is coming in. Good afternoon.
um, yeah. So, well, the Jonathan Reynolds, I love his sound. I like him. I like Mali music a lot, because I feel that I'll call myself like a purist. I feel like in today's music, you have so much production and so much autotune and stuff. I'm not saying that that doesn't have its place, but give me like a voice and a guitar. You know what I mean? So for me, songwriting process, it's very different. Sometimes I'm just listening to music. Like I like to drive. It gives me peace, and so I'll just play random instrumentals. And if lyrics come, they come. I might be practicing on the guitar, the piano. They might come. I might, it really is no type of process. It's kind of like wherever I draw inspiration from, a song will come out of it. Like I just wrote a song called "Mirror Mirror," and I got the inspiration from because I was watching Snow White. You know what I mean? And that song process, like I said, I think a lot. So when you look at the story of Snow White and her stepmother, it's kind of like if you pay attention, the stepmother is actually never ugly. The story actually indicates that she's quite beautiful. But when she asks the mirror who's the most beautiful, and it says Snow White or
Snow
whatever,
White.
she
Mm-hmm.
becomes ugly during the process. So then you look at today's society, how we're all beautiful and unique in our own way, but when because Hollywood or society or the industry says this is the standard of beauty or this is what it looks like to be successful, and then we compare our own selves to that and we don't line up, how many of us turn ugly in the pursuit of something that we already had within ourselves. So the entire song is literally accepting who you are, knowing that you're made in the image of something greater than yourself and that you're beautiful in your own right. You know what I mean? So like it really varies. It definitely varies.
And that's a unique way to put it because it is in a way. Everybody has their own outlook and their own way and their own point of view. And I've changed throughout the years. We've all progressed in some sort of way. So that's a beautiful, unique way to put it. So, my next question for you is if you could collaborate with any singer or songwriter that is out here, that is hot, that is killing it, who would that be?
Ooh. Um, Honestly, I would have to say, I don't know if you guys, I would say Leslie Odom, I believe his name is. If you ever watched the show Hamilton, if you watched the play Hamilton, he's Burr in Hamilton. Um, he is not. I'm definitely not a mainstream person. I mean, I get mainstream, but I feel when you start diving into mainstream and trends and things of that nature, you lose the message. Leslie has a very unique sound, and the way he has just come up with his music, it's so inspiring to me. Like, the purity in his sound, the fact that he knows so many different languages, his background came out of Broadway. Like, I would definitely say that if I had a choice to collab currently, it would probably be with someone like him because I feel like I could learn the most from someone like him musically. Now, if we're gonna go on to like the business side, that's a different question. You see what I mean? Then you step into the things like Chris Brown or Timberland, or, what I mean, people who are actually in that because they understand the business side. But purely as an artist, it would have to be him, and after him would probably be Bruno Mars. Probably
Okay.
Bruno Mars.
Okay. Interesting choices. Interesting choices. So, when you are not writing or performing, what do you do in your downtime?
Um, the gym. I love the gym. Gym is a safe place. I believe that it's really interesting because it's like when I'm not going to the gym, my life around reflects that. It's almost like everything begins to fall apart. The gym and my spirituality are kind of like what anchor me, are the foundations that I build like my mental stability on. And I go to the gym in the morning faithfully, and in doing that, it sets my day up. So I like those kind of things. I'm really big on family. My wife and I, we like to go for drives. She's definitely um, well, my wife, she's from Brazil, so she's like a fish. So she loves the water and the beach and anything. So anything aquatic, you know what I mean? So we do that. And then after that, I love to eat. You can't go wrong with food, you know what I mean? Anytime, like, I love finding random places that hold on the wall spot, what I mean, those kind of things. I think that's one of the things I miss the most about the East Coast is the food. I mean, don't get me wrong, Cali has amazing food, but I feel like they get so caught up on being healthy that they sacrifice taste at times. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, give me as much grease, fat, and sugar all at once, and like we'll see what we come up with. You know what I mean? So yeah. So outside of that, I'm heavily involved. Idea with like church or outreach programs, things of that nature. I really do believe in giving back. I'm a firm believer that you have to give back,
Oh,
and
yeah.
in doing so and giving back to the community or to those that are in need, you in a sense you help yourself out, because they can teach you just as much, even if they're less fortunate. So um, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, currently what I'm doing. I would like to get back into traveling. I love, like I said, culture. So traveling around the world has always been a dream of ours to just see different places. You know.
You are so welcome, Marcus. We're all about supporting Black-owned businesses here, which reminds me, shout outs to Joe Kinetic. Joe Kinetic will be on Style by Stevie Talk Show July 26th. And we also have the beautiful Crystal from the hit web series Triangle. She will be here with us as well, too. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And in August, we got a supermodel coming, so you have to stay tuned for more details. She's walked the runways from Mugler, Celine, and so many fashion houses. So stay tuned for that. We're going to do something called the Rapid Five. So what are 5 things that Emannuel can't live without?
Um, let's say, threw me on the spot with that one. It's
Mm-hmm.
definitely a curveball. 5 things I can't live without. Well, first, obviously, my faith. I can't live without my faith. I can't live without um, the missus because she really does keep me grounded. Um, uh, Third thing would have to obviously be music. Can't live without music. Fourth thing would have to be I would say, well, just family in general. I don't know if she counts as family, but like my family, I'm very family oriented. So like that's like my mom, my pops, grandparents, all that kind of stuff like that. And then the fifth thing I would have to say is Skittles. Skittles are my guilty pleasure. So I can't live life without Skittles, you know what I mean? So there you go.
All right, fashion dolls, y'all know what time it is. Y'all have been waiting for it. It is time to turn the tables. So Emmanuel is going to ask me questions and the audience is going to ask me questions. Stevie's getting put in the hot seat. I do this with all my guests all the time. So nothing is off limits. The questions shoot them my way. So I'm going to hand it over to Emmanuel and we're going to take some questions from the audience.
All right, cool. Um, so for your platform, who was your biggest influence to why you started doing what you did?
I would have to say Ricky Lake. I love
Okay.
how, and Sally Jesse Raphael, Lisa Gibbons, Queen Latifah, of course, the Ladies of the Real, the Ladies of the View. It's a platform called the Young Turks, but they get more so on the progressive political side. So
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I want to do this in a funky, fresh way that can incorporate music, that can incorporate fashion, that can incorporate beauty, that can incorporate so many things that we as POC, people of color, that we love. So I try to keep a young audience base because people get tired of watching the news, and I know it's boring for them. They're just like, so
Yeah.
but I try to do it in a way where it's edgy and it keeps people wanting to come back and back and back for more episodes to the point where they're just like, okay, news, what news? We're going to go and see what she's talking about over here. So I would have to say those have been some of the inspirations that have paved the way for me. If we're talking about journalists as well, too, shout outs to Dana Blair. She did coverage for the Grammys. I just recently did an interview with her not too long ago. Rest her soul, Gwen Eiffel, Angela Rye, April Ryan, Abby Phillip, Yamisha Sindor, Jackie Reed. If we're talking about Black female journalists, they've paved the way for me and so many other women of color. And as I still come into my own as a Black woman in this industry, it's a lot of hurdles that I have to crawl across. You know,
Mm,
just being a woman in general is definitely a challenge. So
right.
yeah, but those have been the inspirations for me. Oh, and Montel Williams. I can't forget about him.
That's what's up. That's amazing. That's good. Um, what does success look like for you?
I had to take a deep sigh on that one because it's so many things to that answer. Um, Success looks like to me, and I tell people this all the time, and I preach about it all the time here on this platform, is that in order to have success, you have to love yourself first. It's not
Yeah.
about the money. It's not about the fame, the glitz, the glamours, the cars. Yes, you see me wear nice fashions every day, but it's not about that for me. Or money at all in general. It's about giving people education and informing them on issues like uh, racism, music, fashion. I love to educate. I was like that since 8 years old. So that's what success means to me, is educating people. You know, it doesn't have to be the glitz, the glamours,
Yeah.
that's what some people see success as, like, oh, I got money, I got money. We're living in a day and age where nowadays everything has to be an image. And even on social media, we have to keep up the certain image. But my thing is I try to be so real and authentic and transparent that people can see, okay, she's real about hers. Whether it's right now, like we're on camera, and off camera as well too. You still get the same person. It's like what you see is what you get. That's it. So, yeah, that's what success means to me. But
I
more
like that.
importantly, like you said in the beginning of the interview, family values. I believe in order
Yeah.
to have a successful circle, you have to have a strong circle, and that includes family and friends. So I'm thankful. My mom, she supports the platform 100%, and my other family relatives as well too. If they'll see the interview clips, and it is like, oh my God, I can't believe she interviewed Vanessa Williams. I can't believe she interviewed 112. I can't believe she interviewed Tony Terry. I can't believe she
Yeah.
interviewed Benjamin Pattinson, Eamon Joseph, Terry Dexter. Um, the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. So
Yeah.
yeah, it just goes to show you that with all of that comes growth. So that's how I would define success.
No, I really connect with that. I mentioned my spirituality a lot. One of my biggest influences from that. There you go. One of my biggest influences is King David. Um, out of it because you hear about all his accomplishments and stuff, but what you also don't realize is that it's called David and His Mighty Men, which means he had a crew of like beastly dudes rolling with him. You know what I mean? And I
Hmm.
think what you said hit it on. You got to, not that your circle has to be big, but you have to have quality. You have to have quality. There's nothing that you see, and I think people don't realize that because they look into what social media and they see the end results, but they're not paying attention to the people that help them get there. And so I really do like the fact that, as you, even though as your success has begun to take off, you haven't forgotten the people that have been around you. You know what I mean? Because that happens a lot, unfortunately. You know? And yeah, yeah.
I
Exactly.
made I made that face because some people do. They get so caught up in the industry by the glitz, the glamour, and the fame, and they become so alienated and disconnected. But me, even when I do my interviews on this platform, I try to be so humble and so down to earth to the point where people just like, okay, yes, I can be sexy, I can look sexy and beautiful and all, and still be considered
Right.
like, okay, the homegirl, the sister, the auntie. I try to make it so relatable to people, just like, okay, we can take her home to mama. Or okay, she can be the homegirl, she can be the girlfriend, she can be the best friend when it's time for a shoulder to cry on. I can be all of that and so much more. So I try to make it relatable. And most talk show hosts, they're just up there like a how can I say it, like a Stephen Colbert or a
Mm,
Jimmy Fallon. I
yeah,
I can only imagine what it's like for them behind the scenes versus me being a
yeah,
black woman. We know how this industry is. So I try to make my platform so relatable to people to the point where it's just like, okay, what's she saying? Spot on. I've been through that. She's speaking to me. So I
yeah,
don't even have to be in your physical presence, like right now, how we're doing this virtually. But I want you to feel the passion, feel the emotion, feel that I know what you're going through. You don't even have to tell me. I can read your mind. And again, that's the
right.
power of Scorpio. We have ways of turning those gears and finding out information piece by piece.
Yeah,
So yes, and it's not me trying. No, I ain't trying to manipulate nobody. But God has just
right.
given me that gift where people feel comfortable enough to tell me things. Like I've been told
Yeah,
so many secrets, I never go and I blab them out, and that's out of respect for privacy and the fact that I'm a loyal person. And that's why
yeah.
people love this platform so much. And yes, I'm the face of it. Yes, I created it, but I also have two co-hosts now, and they're men.
Yeah.
So they
Okay.
understand my standpoint as a woman and where I come from. And I understand their point, what from the male side. So I try to give it to you on all parts of the spectrum where nobody's left out or it's like, okay, she's being biased or something like that to that extent.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. So final question for me. What would be your advice for people trying to do what you're doing? People that look up to you. What would be your advice on how to start out and how to maneuver? Because one of the beautiful things about people like me and you, once we've walked a certain road, we can always get back to people to avoid some of the pitfalls and things that we have experienced. So what would be some of yours?
What advice would I give to someone that is looking to do the same thing that I do? See, I took public speaking classes in high school, and I started off doing this at the age of 16, 19, 17 years old. And as I got throughout my middle school year into my high school year, I said, you know what? I have to have a backup plan. That would be my best
Mm,
advice that I would give to someone. Have a backup plan. If you know that you don't want to go to college, have something where you're out here
mm,
doing something productive with your time, because they already look at us as less than, like we're not educated, like we don't have the facts, like we don't have so many of these things. So my advice to young people would be stay in school, hit those books, educate yourself. I still to this day am learning about certain things, and people will
yeah,
send me topics and I'm just like, okay, this is out of my range, and I'm not afraid to say these things are out of my range. I can't touch on this. I'm probably going to let someone like Oprah or Wendy Williams cover something like this, or maybe Ricky Lake. Maybe they can talk about it.
right,
But I can't
right,
talk about something that I don't have the range to have a conversation on, and I have that right and that privilege to deny those things. But
yeah,
the advice that I would give to people is to stay in school and educate yourself. It's never too late to pick up a book. I'm always in a book. I was a bit of a bookworm. I always
Okay.
had my head in the books throughout school, like A plus, AB honor roll student, all of that and more. And my parents never had to worry about problem when it came to grades throughout me in the school year, things like that, because I
Yeah.
would always be on top. And I also went to beauty school my
Okay.
high school year as well too, and I got my license. I failed the first time, and everyone knows that story, so I don't mind telling
Hmm.
it. And I remember crying all the way back home from beauty school, all the other girls, because it was 23 of us in the class together.
Yeah.
And I remember going back to the beauty school and just crying my
Mm.
eyes out. My father said, "Oh no, you're going back and you're going to take that test." And I went back a second try. It was me and another young lady. I'm a friend
Yeah.
of mine. Uh, and I passed it with flying colors. I remember the lady said, "No, you can't scream." I said, "Oh my God," because I remember her telling me, printing out the results, and I'm standing right there by the computer as she prints them off. You have to wait for them to print the paper off to say whether you pass or
Yeah.
fail. And they take your picture on this little ID thingy, and it prints
Yeah.
off and lets you know whether you passed or failed. And I said, "Oh my God," she said, "You passed." So I said, "Wait, what? Say that for me again one more time. Run that back for me again one more time." She said, "You passed." So I said, "Can I
Oh,
scream?"
cool.
She said, "Oh no, 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 no. You can't." So I wait till I got to down the third flight of stairs. I almost tripped, but I remember screaming so loud outside in the parking lot, it almost shattered the cars and the glass in the building, because it was like a glass
Wow.
type of building, upstairs, downstairs, elevator, all of that. Hi, my love. Welcome, Mel. Safe space, all the way from the UK. Welcome, baby.
Hello.
But that would be my advice that I would give young people, is just to stay in the books, keep your head in the books, and educate yourself. You don't have to. School ain't for everybody. College ain't for
Yeah.
everybody, but make sure that you're educating yourself. Pick up a book.
Right.
There's so much knowledge out here. And I don't know if people don't really read magazines like that, but I'm looking at a stack of them right here on my floor, because like I said, I'm always in a book. I'm always posting some sort of inspiration and giving people some sort of inspiration and some nuggets and wisdom. So that was what I would
Good.
give them.
That's good. That's good. Definitely.
Little long-winded, but perfect explanation. Yeah, we have to educate ourselves.
I agree with that.
So we're gonna take some questions from the audience for Emannuel and myself. Um, okay, Marcus wants to know what made you go into your field.
I would have to say probably just a love for it. I feel that music is a universal language. It's actually the only thing that can pass through both hemispheres of your brain untouched. It's one of the things that you don't even have to understand what I'm saying to feel the emotion behind it. I feel the most connected and I feel the most down to earth when I'm being in my artistic expression. Because I don't just sing, like I dance as well. I used to dance battle and all that. You know, you guys sure it goes out. You know what I mean? So I think just when I'm in that artistic creative flow, I feel like that's when I'm the most real or the most authentic. So I would have to say that's probably why I started it.
Okay. All right. Any last questions for myself or Emannuel? Fashion Dolls, you guys know 3 p.m. You're not getting one. You're not getting two, but you guys are getting 3 shows back to back. So if you need to go and refresh your drinks or get something to eat and snack on and come back, the next time, the next part of our show today is going to be my other show outside of Style by Stevie, which is Girl, Let's Talk When Black Women Speak. And it's going to be myself and 2 other women. Shout outs to Live Love Fashion by DC, Andrea X. And we're going to be talking about issues that we as women of color, as Black women, that we go through. So Kevin Samuels, Andrew Caldwell, Jason Lee, all of you are on the docket for today. So stay tuned for the next hour. We're going to be giving our thoughts on that. 4 p.m., me and my co-host Johnny will be giving you guys the topics. We're going to be talking about Judge Joe Brown and so many other things as well too. So you guys seen the video. So we're going to be talking about that. You guys know we're all about protecting the Black woman here on my platform. So we'll be
Mm.
talking about Judge Joe Brown and the next hour at 4 p.m. So please stay tuned. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude? 3 p.m. coming up next is Girl, Let's talk when Black women speak. So you're going to get the perspective of three different women from three different walks of life. And of course, I'm on the panel. So stay tuned for that. Shout
Okay,
outs to
right.
my best friend Felicia. I see you, girl. And Mel's
Felicia.
Desserts, all the way from the UK, Mel's Safe Space. Let me tell you guys a little bit about that. That right there, Mel, what she does is she goes live and she says this. I quote her all the time. She says, "I'm not a therapist, but if you need a ears for to listen when if you need someone to listen to you when you talk, I can be there for you." So what she does is she goes live and she allows people to talk about their problems and get it off of their chest. And I just love her platform. She has two platforms. So it's Mel's Safe Space and Mel's Desserts. So I came in, what was it, Saturday? It was last Saturday. And I told her, oof, my anxiety has been through the roof. That guilt, that anger, that internalized anger, all of that, that's what's been kind of bothering me lately so much. So
Mm,
I talked with her and she gave me some good advice. She said, just let those negative thoughts go. And it haunts me, y'all. Like I have demons that are chasing me, spirits that are chasing me that you would have never thought. And this is my first time ever opening up about it. My mom, I talked to her about it and she just, of course, in the traditional Christian value, we talk about praying and talking to God, but there's nothing wrong with going and sitting on the couch and talking to Dr. Phil. God put therapists here for a reason. Faith without work is dead. So we have to
you
learn to
better
get out here
preach.
and talk about our issues because we can't keep that guilt and stuff bottling up inside. And I feel like a weight
Right.
has been lifted off of me because I feel like these demons, these spirits have been chasing me, all these bad thoughts, all of these deaths. It was too much in 2020. Too much was going on in 2020. And just to imagine if something could happen to one of my family members, I don't know how I would react to that. So that's what's kind of what's been haunting me. I think it's death. So
Mm,
now that I got that out, it's kind of lifted off just a little bit. Keep planting those positive seeds, love. Thank you. Thank you. Because it has definitely been difficult. 2020 is all around for us has been a emotional year. It's been a very difficult year. It's so much with not being able to connect with one another and have conversations, whether it's your family members or just your friends or whomever, just being able to physically touch them. But technology is powerful, so thank God for the power of technology.
that's the truth. It's that inner circle we talked about, having people in
Oh
your
yeah,
corner.
positive circle. It's been difficult. I've had to cut some people off, but I feel free. I feel liberated. I feel like those chains, those shackles that have been holding me back, saying, okay, you got to support this person. You got to support this person. Even though they're not supporting you, you have the right to let go. And
Yeah.
that's the best advice that I would give to other people as well, too, is that you have the right to cut negativity outside of your circle. If they're not being beneficial to you and your growth, cut them off. And that's what I realized along the way, that some people just were not beneficial to my growth, not beneficial to anything that I'm working on or anything that's positive in general. They always support
Yeah.
the mess. They always support the
Yeah.
mess. But if it's something positive like this, where we're holding people accountable or calling them out, uh, let them go. And I feel so
Yeah.
liberated just doing it. I said, okay, I love you, but I'm going to have to cut this tie right here. I'm going to
Yeah.
have to cut this tie because this is what's holding me back.
Yeah.
So just like you cut weeds out of a garden, like Mel said, you have to cut those negative thoughts out. You have
Yeah.
to.
I agree. My grandma used to always tell me basically that when we hold on too long to things, but half the time when God is telling us to remove something, it's because He has something better in store. And I've learned that um, I'm a firm believer. I don't believe in coincidence. You know what I mean? I believe that everybody comes into your life for a time, season, and a place. And so when you hold on to something longer than its time, you know what I mean, then um, it's no longer beneficial to you, you know. And so I think that's the part that people they hold on too long for the fear of the unknown, you know. But true success comes with uncomfortability. You got to be uncomfortable. You have to be willing to put your hand to the plow in order to be able to succeed in whatever it is that your passion field or whatever the case is be. So I mean, the same thing. I've lost a lot of friends, people that I thought were going to be there that just aren't. But in letting go, the people that surround me now, um, it's almost like I can't see my life without them. You know what I mean? They've been so beneficial and helpful in my own spiritual walk and on my faith and, anything of that nature. So I definitely agree with that. So let go because there's something better on the corner.
Exactly. Do we have any more questions, any more comments, any more concerns, Fashion Dolls, before we move on to the next show? Because this is going to be a back-to-back-to-back thing, 2, 3, and 4 p.m. So
Mm.
the biggest part of a conversation is what we need to talk about with George Joe Brown and Mark Lamont Hill, the most controversial interview ever. So as a woman, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on that because let's just say when it comes to domestic violence with Black women, women in general, women of color, it's been swept under the rug and looked right past. So we're going to be talking about that on Girl Let's Talk, and we're going to be talking about that on Style by Stevie. So save your thoughts, save your comments, and I'm letting you know in advance, there will be absolutely no gaslighting. There will be absolutely no victim blaming on my platform. And if I catch it, you will be nicely blocked and removed. Do I make myself
Right,
clear?
right, that's right.
I have to give a disclaimer. It's so triggering talking about some of this stuff some of the time. And even as a journalist, Emannuel, like it's crazy. I'm like, okay, do I have to cover this today? I hate covering these stories,
Mm.
but there's so much dangerous misinformation going on out here. So someone has to tell the truth. And throughout the 2020 election, just throughout the year of 2020, we have been misinformed, disinformed. But I
Yeah,
said, I'm going to make it my mission to tell my people, Black people, the truth and hold people who are doing the wrong accountable. I can't play
yeah,
God, but I can critique and say what you did was wrong, you know?
yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to be honest. You have to use your platform, in a sense for good. And when it comes down to the truth, you have to. He wants to say hi. Apparently, he's a baby. We just got him. This is Lee, by the way. But
Oh,
he wants attention. He like can't. But yeah. So, anyways, using your platforms like that, you have to be informed. You have to. Education is power. Knowledge is power. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm very appreciative for people like you and others that you do the platform to begin to tell the truth. Because for so long the truth has been silenced. You know.
absolutely. Absolutely. And my fraternal says, I'm jealous of his eyes. He's talking about you, Emmanuel. And Mel says, Marcus says it's been critical. Absolutely, absolutely. People deserve to hear the truth. There's been so many platforms out here. I don't even have to go through name by name. It's so exhausting. But people deserve to hear the truth. People have lost family members. They have lost friends. And they want some sort of sanity where they know that they can feel calm, where they can, if I
Yeah.
can do that, if I can put someone's mind at ease and ease mine at the same time, um, I know that I'm doing the world a service, and I'm going to keep continuing to do that until I'm over 100 years old. I'm
That's right.
27, and I'll be 28 this coming October. So, just from the
Okay.
knowledge and wisdom that I've gained, if that can help someone and change their life, I don't mind at all.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Any last questions, comments, or concern? My girls are waiting. Coming up, we have Live Love Fashion by DC and Drea X. We're going to be talking about Kevin Samuels. We're going to be talking about Jason Lee. We're not going to be man bashing because I know some people say, "Oh, well, you man bash men on your platform all the time." Listen, if who's going to hold Black men accountable when other Black men are not holding other Black men accountable?
Mm,
Somebody's
mm.
got to do it. So I will gladly put on my Wonder Woman cape and I will cape for Black women all over the world because I know that we're the most disrespected, dehumanized, unprotected human beings on the face of this earth. And that doesn't come from me. That comes from Malcolm X. God rest his soul. So
Mm. That's right.
any last questions or comments, Fashion Dolls?
Okay. Yep.
Well, looks like that's it, Emannuel. So let everyone know where they can find you, where they can follow you, because I would love to have you back on.
Oh, definitely. So my IG is Emmanuel underscore I dot F. Um, New music will be coming up soon. There's actually nothing currently out, just for copyright reasons. I want to make sure that legally I'm protected before I begin to release. I do covers,
Oh,
obviously. I do covers. I do random snippets and things of that nature. But yeah, if you follow my social media, you'll see everything that I'm involved in. Music that's going to be coming out. I'm actually in the process of developing a fashion line called Nichivo. I know, it just clicked. Called Nichivo. My lady and I, it's Brazilian inspired. The purpose of Nichivo is to it means real or natural in Portuguese, and the whole purpose of it is to um, say that it's okay to be you, as we mentioned, in the midst of everything going on, to be authentically you. Like, don't compensate your morals and values just for success because that's no longer success, you know? So that's where that's going to be coming out. So you'll get all the updates off that. And yeah, as well as any proceeds that you do, we're going to be teaming up with a nonprofit dealing with, so like 10% of all proceeds are going to go towards the nonprofit, and that's going to be dealing with like the environment, helping out, things of that nature. So be on the lookout. But follow the social media Emmanuel underscore I dot F, and all the updates will be up on there. Definitely.
all right, fashion dolls, and this concludes our conversation with singer, songwriter, actor. He's the jack of all trades, and he just announced his clothing line. So make sure you guys please go and follow. And shout outs to my girl Stephanie. I'm rocking a pair of her lashes, the bomb lashes, right here on Instagram. So make sure you guys go and check it out. I look like a China doll. Come on, Steph, with these lashes. So y'all, please go and check it out. Support her. She also has lip glosses as well too. So you ladies, for my ladies, please go and shop the Bomb Lashes right here on Instagram. That is my best friend. I've known her and my other friend Felicia for at least 3 years. We've had a long friendship. So please go and support. Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, are y'all ready for some girl talk? Well, tune in because girl, Let's Talk When Black Women Speak is coming up next. And I've got two ladies who have something to say. So y'all already know it's going to be a triple threat of all this girl power and black girl magic all put together. So y'all tune in for that. We're going to be talking Kevin Samuels. We're going to be talking about so many things. Looking good, sis. Thank you so much, girl. Shout outs to Melanie Nalamai Bridgers, our hair and makeup. Oh, she's so amazing. See, y'all, every look, every lash, every lip, every look that's been put together is responsible by Melanie Nalamai. So y'all follow her right here on Instagram. Nalamai underscore MUA right here on Instagram. All right, fashion dolls. And this concludes our interview with Emmanuel underscore I dot F. So please go and follow him. And I look
Yeah.
forward to talking with you in the future.
Thank you so much for having me, bro.
You are so welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, Girl, Let's Talk. And this will be saved on IGTV. So be on the lookout for the clips as well. Y'all take care, and I will see y'all up next.